This one's for the culture. Me and wifey in the room thinking of a master plan, thinking how we can influence the culture from where we stand. Knowing that our steps are ordered by the master's hand, still 10 toes down, we ain't switching up the stance. The mission of this music ain't just to make them dance, trying to tell them about the rock, cause they build.
And welcome all to episode 66 of the Bond Chronicles. I am your gracious, healthy-eyed host, Mr. Bond Chronicles. And I'm blessed to be here with my co-host.
The worst, Jesus. Like, why? Why would you even start the podcast that way? I am over here, like, really struggling.
Really pushing through.
I am, like, excuse me, guys. Like, to our visual audience, I am having some serious allergies problems today. And we can't delay recording the podcast any later.
There's so much stuff we gotta get out.
There won't be a podcast tomorrow. And my eye is like
the strong black woman
losing its mind right now. And this guy over here chooses
fully supportive
to make a joke.
Yes.
But yeah, I am here. I am, pushing through the struggle.
This is the part
Chronicles.
This is the part of podcasting and stuff like this that they don't talk about. Is the prep work, the times you got to record when you don't feel good. There's been a number of times I couldn't breathe. There's been times I was sneezing and losing my mind, or just didn't feel well.
Tired.
God knows we recorded a bunch at 1, 2, sometimes maybe even later
3
than that.
in the morning.
And then got to edit. So we do it. Obviously, we enjoy it, but ultimately, it's for you guys, and we didn't want any more time to pass before we get some of the stuff we need to talk about, specifically with music. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. I don't think it's fair to try and rush that and add that to the end of a music segment. So likely this week, we are going to address the Supreme Court's decisions, and I don't think anybody thinks they're going to stop there. So definitely keep the notifications on, like, share, and subscribe. I promise you will not regret it, as the entertainment value will be there, but the realism will be there. We are not funded by anybody. We are not sponsored by anyone. So we don't got real answers. Our
opinions are solely that of our own.
Individually. Some things I say do not attach to her, and some stuff she be saying do not attach to me. We are the Bond Chronicles, but we are two separate entities when it comes to opinions. And I stand in that completely. And based on today and probably the next week, I definitely think it's fair to say I am my own man. We're going to disagree.
I'm not saying we're not going to disagree. I
don't want people attaching my opinions to you.
Oh, they do that anyway.
Who?
I mean, people in general. I've seen a lot of it. If you voted for Trump, or if you voted for this person, or if you did that, or if you did this, everything that's happening is your fault.
But you didn't vote for the people I voted for. To an extent,
I agree, but because we don't share the same values, but I am connected to you and your values in some way, shape, or form also reflect that of my own, then I can't be an ally because your values, like I saw this one meme that said, if your husband is
pro-life?
No. But I'm sure I'll see that one too. I can't remember the words exactly, but basically, if your husband or your boyfriend is anti-gay, then so are you. Basically, you're not an ally. And I was like, well, dang. I think that's a little extreme. Like, I get the sentiment, but even still,
you can't force people how to think, and everybody's not going to agree on everything in a relationship.
But in this day and age, there's no room for debate. There's no room for real conversation.
So is the reverse not true then? If your partner is pro-gay, wouldn't that make you a supporter of gay?
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't work that way.
I mean,
it only works the negative way.
Yeah, from what I've seen on the socials.
What a day and age. What a time to be alive. Well, I stand on my own, so please don't attack her. Potentially,
they could try me if they want to
for anything. That's wild. I'd never heard that part. But yeah, we'll move on to music. This is the goal here today, is to discuss new music, and there is a ton of it. R&B, rap, dance. The gambit has been covered here recently. We followed up with Something in the Water, and just music just came flooding out of Something in the Water, pun intended. So we got to start at the top. Arguably the biggest artist in the world, based on sales, based on everything. Drizzy Drake.
Wait, no. Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
Based on sales, we're going to get to it, but the person we're talking about can't be at the top based on sales projections.
I mean, I was talking about Beyonce, but
well, we don't know what her sales are going to be. We'll see what happens with her. But no, as of today, I believe it's still Drake. He still is the pendulum swinger when it comes to rap, hip hop, and now dance. I think we'll see. We joked about how Kanye on the Billboard Awards was nominated for like every gospel category 4 times in each category. I think we're going to see something similar with Drake next Billboard Awards, because it's just based on numbers. And the fact that that album is going to outsell Chris Brown's album is in like double. Actually, no, I think Drake did 200 something. So he's going to like triple him, which is just flagrant in every way, but we'll get there. I don't want to jump ahead. But Drake dropped an album. I do not have the name in front of me. Do you have it?
Honestly, something.
Honestly, never mind. I think is what it's called.
Garbage.
That's one word. We're gonna jump right in. So actually, I'll let you go.
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
I am so ready to talk about that boy Aubrey Graham, Drizzy Drake. Champagne Poppy, certified lover boy, whatever he is calling himself these days. But I do need for his friends to stop telling him that he can sing. Like, I'm over it on every level that I can be over it on. And I just don't understand. Like, I get it. You want to try something different. You want to try something new. But at least warn people. Like, I, listened to that album foolishly, thinking that it was going to be a redemption album from Certified Lover Boy and the garbage that was. And I will say that through the scope of a dance album, it's not awful. Definitely could be better, but it's not terrible. But through the lens of listening to this rapper try to sing over these beats and it's just wrong. It's just on so many levels. I'm so tired of singing Drake. And if you want to be a singer, fine. Do that. Stop rapping then. Tell people you're done rapping. You don't want to do it no more. Like, you don't have the passion for it anymore. Whatever bull crap lie you want to tell people, that makes you feel better about just doing stuff for the money at this point. Because that's what it is. Like, I don't get it. At this point, I'm not downloading. I'm not running to go listen to another Drake album. And then to throw in that last song at the very end, like, that's the type of stuff that pisses people off when you get punched in the throat. Like, I just don't understand it. I'm so over it. I've listened to it, I guess, maybe 1.5 times. Like, it's not going to be in my rotation, but because it's him and because of how it sounds and it's that time of year, I am more than positive it's going to be on a bunch of brunch playlists, and it's going to come on and people are going to love it, and they're going to continue to condone this ridiculousness that is Drake's singing career. But whatever, to each his own. He ain't getting no more of my money, though.
Did he ever get any?
I used to.
Oh, okay.
Spend money to support him.
So we have a similar destination, but very different roads to get there. I went looking. It was midnight. I forget where we were.
We were home.
I mean, we were here. But I forget what we were doing. But I went and I pushed play. And I did not see dance in the description or at the headline. So I just went into it thinking we were getting a Drake album. And to your point, and I've said it on here many times, I was not a fan of CLB. I thought it was mid at best. I didn't think it was a top 5 album based on the music last year. It definitely wouldn't be a top 5 album this year, given everyone that's dropped. And I was like, okay, Drake's been he's been relatively quiet, but he's been dealing with some things. And he's going to come back ready to go. You saw the title, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, and even the title, like the title of the album. Honestly,
the artwork,
never mind.
The artwork was death row-ish.
He was supposed to come out talking that talk.
He was supposed to come out talking the talk. And he didn't. I don't know what he said. I can't even say that. I could not hear him that well. I didn't think it was mixed the best. And I haven't listened to it enough to know what he was talking about.
He wasn't talking about nothing. Well, that's not true. I did listen to some of the lyrics, and I went back and read some of the lyrics. It's just him being his same old emotional, Drakey self. He's Draking like he's never Draked before. Yeah.
Well, this Drake, I still don't like. I definitely agree with you. I don't need singing Drake. I don't really need any singing rapper, to be perfectly honest. Like, I give Ye a pass because the songs are good. And I've given Drake
Stan.
And I was about to say, and I've given Drake's passes in the past because the songs were good. These to me are not good songs. They will, I agree, they fit the summertime, they will fit the brunch playlist. But I think the instrumental could play and you would get very similar impact versus his voice. I argue his voice takes away from some of the songs. Like, you'll be moving and grooving, but like I said, I didn't hear much of anything he said until the last song, which he did on CLB as well. Where there was
falsetto.
There was like 2 different songs where I was like, oh, he's rapping. But that Drake just does not consistently show up. And what?
No, go ahead. But I do have a question for you.
And I don't know. I mean, I think I know. And I never wanted to lean on the Quentin Miller's gone, so Drake's gone narrative.
That's literally what I was about to talk about, though. Because ever since that dynamic and his, personnel or whatever has changed, Drake ain't been the same. And I just don't for years.
So did he not write anything?
But that's the thing. For years, all those ghostwriting rumors circulated. And, people downplayed it because he would freestyle, or people would say this because, he would do different things that cast just enough doubt to make people think, nah, he's not using a ghostwriter. Excuse me. But these last 3 albums, they have been interesting, to say the least, lyrically.
Correct. And that, to me, is concerning, as I've been historically a Drake fan. Aubrey's been Aubrey. I'd never watched Degrassi.
It was amazing. But
I can't speak to it. But
me and my sisters love that show.
As a talent, I've always had him in that, top 5 conversation just because of the numbers, the impact, the movement, the hits. And I'm not really one that says, if you ghostwrite, you should be downplayed. Because I think everybody in some capacity has had other people help them write. I don't care who you are. I forget the Snoop and Dre song that Jay-Z said he wrote both verses.
Still Dre.
Still Dre. That's right. I kept wanting to say nothing but a G thing, but that's not right. So you see that, and you got legends coming out and saying, I had assistants. We know that Ye has had people assist him. We've had really everybody have writing sessions and groups where you're feeding and bouncing off and iron sharpening iron or whatever it may be. R&B, most of the people that sing don't write the songs they're singing. Mm-hmm. So I'm not killing people that don't write what they sing or rap.
I know.
But when it's this drastic of a difference and you were once held this high and you stiff-armed it, now had you embraced it, This is a non-conversation. But when you try to present yourself as a certain person, and now it is clear that you cannot consistently do that. That's the difference between like good players and great players in sports. You can have a player give you a 40-point game because they're talented, but can they average 30 for a season? And that's the difference. And we'll get a rap song out of Drake on an album, and he'll rap. But the rest of it is like, what happened?
I mean, even when you go back to Certified Lover Boy, there was no song where I listened to and I was just like, dang, that Drake verse was fire.
No, I like the intro and the Bridal Path verse. It was a good diss.
It was okay.
As a rapping verse diss, I thought it was good. Now, the rest of his features, they all beat him bad. From Wayne to Jay to
Lil Baby, like everybody.
Lil Baby. I'm not even going to talk about the Future record. Like, that's not as big of a situation. But I just don't know where he's at in life. Obviously, he's comfortable. He made I think roughly 400. It's estimated that could be up to close to $1 billion deal that he signed. And he might just be like, y'all going to keep buying it. So I'm going to put out whatever I want.
Put out whatever I want. And I can respect that.
I hate that.
As an artist, like, I can respect that. But tell people, I should not have turned on that album. We should not have started playing that album and started playing it, and it was all dance. Like, he could have gave us like one side dance and the other side what people actually want to hear. Like, there were a whole lot of ways that he could have packaged this for people. But to just put it out there as it was with no warning and people turn it on and is that? Bruh. Start over. Like, just start over again.
And to that point, I do appreciate whether it was like 808s when Ye went in a completely different direction. I do appreciate trying something different. So I do want to give him credit because up to this point, we hadn't seen a rapper make a dance trance album. Or is it? It is trance. Yeah. But it's not for me at all. I have no interest in going back and listening to it anymore, which is disappointing. But he also came at the wrong time. Like, it's summertime, and we got some people coming, and we already had some people. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. After seeing it performed, after hearing it more and more, Push still has rap album of the year for me. And it's getting less and less close the more time goes on. Dirk's Deluxe is solid. I haven't listened to all the new tracks, but that was the second best rap album of the year for me. And I would probably say Corday is third for me. But I don't know what he was doing other than I can do this because I'm him. And that to me, I guess, starts to fall on us because to your point, the next time we have a Drake album and everything about the industry says first week sales are important, maybe we should reserve that judgment or run into.
Am. I'm not going to look for Drake no more until I hear like what I want to hear. And
so if he puts out a rapping single and a proper rollout.
I mean, it doesn't even necessarily have to be a proper rollout. It just needs to be rap. I'm tired of listening to singy, whiny, overly emotional Drake. Like, I don't want, like... Has
he had any rap features recently?
I mean, outside of Churchill Downs.
But that's not... That was... I guess, yeah, that's still...
And he's rapping. Melodic rap, however
is very different.
And however you want to...
I think that's his bag, too. So
yeah, however you want to classify
it. And that was a good verse.
He was rapping, and it was.
It was a good verse.
So if I can't give that Drake, or even, like... I don't know, like...
Maybe he's lacking inspiration. He hasn't had his heart broken. He don't sell drugs. He ain't been in no fight. There's no drama.
Somebody go pick a fight with Drake then.
We haven't seen him with a bunch of different women. So maybe he's just lacking inspiration. And so it's just stale, maybe?
I don't know how he's lacking in inspiration considering how people were talking about Certified Lover Boy.
That's fair.
Considering how Certified Lover Boy was, what is it, CLB? I'll just say that. Considering how that was received, like he should have all the ammunition, all the burning fire in his belly to fuel a good rap album.
And even in that, you can rap. You know, you could have came back and said, "Yeah, y'all hated it, but it sold 600." Like you can still beat your chest. But man, I don't know. I don't know. So before we move on, so do you think we're getting another Drake project soon based on this, or is he going to chill out and just let this album ride? Because that would be like 3 albums in a year and a half.
But if they were good albums, that would be one thing. Mm-hmm. But they're, like you said, mid at best.
But so he could be holding a rap album in the tuck.
I'm done believing that artists are just holding all these incredible songs to be released when the world is ready to receive them in the packaging that they're ready to give them out in. I don't believe it anymore. When you look at Lil Baby, mm-hmm. he's on everything. Mm-hmm. And on every opportunity that somebody gets him, he, like, I don't care, layup, crossover, whatever you want to call it. Like, he is getting it all done. Every single time. Like, no. I'm not making excuses for subpar rappers anymore. Okay. No more. I'm done. I quit. And it could just be because I'm irritated with this whole allergy thing. But, like, just the idea that he would put that album, I'm not going to keep calling it garbage because, again, it's not garbage. It's just not what I wanted to hear.
Or expect.
By any means.
Yeah.
I'm just not.
So, in that same vein, the Queen has come out and released a remix, a sampled dance song herself. Not that that's completely outside of her realm, but for the first song of hers in
a few years.
Yeah, I think she did a soundtrack or something. Mm-hmm. This is her resurgence or reemergence into music. She comes with a
"You Won't Break My Soul."
No. Yes, that's what she did.
No,
there's some other words in there that's in the day in which we live in. I think slightly problematic, but
if you haven't quit your job yet, 3:48 p.m.
But
Siri says it's okay too, as well as Beyonce.
Okay, I don't know. We live in a world where celebrities constantly get blamed for humanity's poor behavior, whether they be a politician or an entertainer. So I think there is a level of responsibility that I guess she should have in suggesting people quit their job. Granted, people are already quitting their jobs.
People are quitting in droves.
But to me, it's the Kim Kardashian thing where she said, you just got to work harder. Like Beyonce, you're probably worth $1 billion. Your husband's definitely worth $1 billion. You put out music when you want. You pretty much stay out of the eye of the public. I don't know if the right voice to tell people to,
No, she's it.
What?
She can tell people.
Well, how can she do that?
Because it's Beyonce. It's Beyonce. She can tell people that.
But her hive is going to listen. And then kids might be going hungry because Beyonce said, quit my job.
Nobody is really, really going out there. And then the people that do, they're quitting their jobs to pursue other things because that's what she's talking about in the song.
And what if those fail?
Then you go back to another job. That's the problem with people out here nowadays. They're too scared to jump out on faith.
I agree with that.
If you operate in faith in everything you do in life.
Yes.
You could wake up tomorrow and maybe you don't quit your job, but your job quits you. And
that is also very possible.
And then what?
I'm going to have to dust off a resume I ain't seen in years. And get to
I just was recently looking at mine. Well, I have 2.
You have 2 resumes?
Mm-hmm.
For what?
One for like when I'm applying for a stylist position, and another for when I'm applying for like an administrative position.
No, I just have one. And I tweak it to the job I'm applying for, but
that's why I have 2.
Yeah, I got you. Do you need a podcast? Do we need resumes for this?
No, just check out our YouTube page. Or
okay.
I mean, I guess that is something to consider when we're talking about becoming a media company.
Yeah.
So
surprise.
I mean, it's not even close yet. So it's not a surprise. It's not a nothing yet.
Nothing good. Nothing.
I mean, it's an idea.
Yeah.
That I'm playing around with.
Sure.
But this is an episode to talk about it.
Fair enough. So sounds like you're in support of the Beyonce song.
Heck yeah. It's Beyonce. Like, I am an avid member of the Hive.
Now, I don't hear you talk about her much.
It's because nobody wants to hear me talk about Beyonce and how incredible I think she is.
Who doesn't want to hear that? I feel like there's a bunch of people.
Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I live in a household where maybe Courtney wants to talk about Beyonce. You don't be wanting to talk about Beyonce?
Not really.
So
I don't know what you want to say. We've had mad music conversations. She rarely gets brought up.
Well, I mean, she doesn't get brought up typically because she's not releasing a whole bunch of music. But if this had been the year Lemonade came out or the year that On the Run was on.
And that's not true. I told you, if Beyonce releases a tour, I'm going.
Of course I'm going.
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm going.
Yeah, of course I'm going.
Why do you keep saying you? We're not talking about you. We're talking about your ability to talk Beyonce. I'll talk Beyonce.
Will you?
Yeah. I like her.
Sound like a hater?
I play her music. I like her.
When do you play her music?
When Jay-Z's on the song.
See, exactly. I never heard you play a Beyonce song. You played the Carter album because...
But most of her music isn't speaking positively of me.
That's not true either.
The new music?
She makes mad music that people can just enjoy and vibe out to. Yeah.
Straight men?
Yeah.
Like what?
Like... I took the top off of Maybach.
Jay-Z's on that.
True.
So, she doesn't make music for me. So I don't really listen.
She makes music for everybody.
No, she doesn't.
Stop it. Just stop it.
We disagree there. Her makes music for everybody. Summer Walker and some of those other women do not make music for everyone. And Beyonce's not Summer Walker, but she ain't her either. She's female empowerment, I think, sometimes to a fault. That's just me.
In a league of her own. That's who
we agree
is.
With. We gonna see when she come what the numbers say. Because Adele did 800. I don't know how she did it. I ain't heard nobody talking about Adele since that album dropped.
Yeah.
And she ain't toured it because she canceled it.
Mm-hmm.
But allegedly, she did almost 1 million in the first week. I don't know. We're going to get into that in a little bit. And I might go off. So y'all got to bear with me. But I do, for what it's worth, I do like the song. I've told you as much. I think the song's cool. I'm not necessarily playing it when I'm by myself. I don't know when I would actually play it.
You can play it anytime.
You cannot.
You can. When you in here cleaning up, when you outside cleaning up the grass, when you're just doing stuff, bro. Like, I mean,
it's a good song.
Keep trying to put Bay in a box. Stop it.
That was the whole point about Drake. It's a decent album, but we're never going to listen to it because there's nowhere for us to listen to it.
No, I just don't like it.
No, it's all right. It's just not great. Like, as a trance dance album, I think the beats could be a lot better and there could be a lot more diversity. But Beyonce came with it, following up to him, and that's, I think, going to be the blueprint. I will be very curious to see when, because I think her album is supposed to drop July. She gave us a release date.
Yeah, 29th.
So end of July. I don't know.
That's when my box ships, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I ordered the box thing.
Talk to people about the box.
So last week or the week before?
No, the box. What is?
I know.
You bought two?
No, I only bought one.
So what you mean last week or the week before?
Last week or the week before, her website updated.
Oh, I didn't know you was going.
No, yeah, I was just trying to set the people up, take them on a ride.
Oh, go. All right, I'm.
Buckle up.
All right, passenger seat.
My wonderful husband here alerted me to the fact that Beyonce was trending or something was going on. And I went and checked her website and she had boxes for sale. and you don't know what's in the box. You just know that you get a t-shirt with some sort of design. There were 4 options to choose from. It
How
was
much were
like
they?
$40.
Okay.
So, and then after shipping, it was like 46, 47.
That's not bad.
Yeah. I don't know what's in the box. I wasn't gonna get it at first, but
She be balling.
I digress. I wasn't gonna get it at first, but I kept thinking about it, and I was just like, what if there's like golden tickets to her next tour, or something, anything. And I'm one of those people that suffers from severe FOMO. So I just ordered it. I don't know. Beyonce can always have my money. Like, just always. It is what it is. I stand.
So you stand for a couple people.
Beyonce,
All
Chris
of Dreamville.
Brown, not all of Dreamville. A lot of Dreamville.
Who not in Dreamville?
Cause.
Who's that?
Omen.
I don't know who those people are.
Exactly, because you don't listen. But
I listened to the mixtape.
And they're on the mixtape.
Yeah, I don't remember them.
Exactly.
It must not have been that great.
No, they're all right. They're just not my personal cup of tea. Mm-hmm. But the rest of Dreamville I like. Obviously, Earth Gang, JID, J. Cole, Baz.
Yeah, so you stand for the majority of Dreamville.
Fine, whatever.
And Chris Brown.
And then Chris Brown.
Be careful saying that.
I don't care. I want all the smoke.
Okay. So we're good on Beyonce?
Yeah.
Great.
Always good on Beyonce.
So let's get to Chris. Chris Brown put out
Breezy.
We are from Virginia.
VA.
DMV, whatever you want to call it, but really Virginia.
I'm from Virginia.
She was born in Virginia. I was born in DC. I've lived in Virginia most of my whole life. And although Northern Virginia is very, very different from Southern Virginia, or Southeastern Virginia specifically, we're all Virginia. And I'm not going to say Chris Brown can't do wrong in my eyes, but Chris Brown pretty much can't do wrong in my eyes. I know how you guys hear me talk about Ye, and that hasn't changed. I got the hoodie in, amazing hoodie, bigger than I thought, even though I sized down. But quality, I don't have another shirt or hoodie like that in my wardrobe, and I don't know if I've ever had one. But
I mean, you paid enough for it.
I did.
Ballin'.
And when that jean jacket comes out, that's like $400. I said I wasn't going to get.
You're probably going to get it.
I'm starting to rethink that. And I've reached out to Yeezy Gap, and they said it's coming soon. So breaking news, they say it's coming soon if you're interested. Chris Brown is the epitome of why I be so pro man. And this country, I'm going to stick with this country. We have a disgusting, disturbing double standard when it comes to Black men. And this is not a newsflash for anybody. But when it constantly, you get reminded of it, it sucks. It really, really sucks. And let me say this. I said it last year. Her, Back in My Mind, should have been album of the year. For R&B album of the year, I had Donda for album of the year total. This is album of the year. Dance album of the year, because you can dance to it. There's rapping on it, because there's rap features. Whatever category you need to put this in. I think he said something about God on the first track. It can be a gospel album. I don't know. This album is amazing. And I don't use that word often. I'm actually pretty critical of most music that comes out, especially an album that's an hour and 20 minutes legit. I think it's 24 songs, if I'm not mistaken. And it goes. If you want features, there's features. If you want up-tempo, there's up-tempo. If you want Caribbean or Indian, I don't want to disrespect the culture, whatever it's called, but that soca dance group, whatever that is,
there you go.
You got that too.
Dance hall, that
you got slow jams. You got Luckiest Man Alive. You got All Women Are Iffy and Thotty. You got it all. There's nothing more that you can ask of an album that this album doesn't have. And the early projections are that it's going to do 60 to 65,000. That is flagrant. As far as I'm convinced, that's a lie.
There's no way.
And that's an industry thing. someone in the industry is controlling this narrative and controlling these numbers that are coming out. And for a long time, I support the numbers. Drake did 600, Ye did 300, Kendrick did high 280s, Cole did high 200s, almost 300, and those are about right. I'm good with that. Push doing 50, Push did 50, Fabio did 30, which was good for him. Push doing 50 is flagrant and absurd. I see the concerts, they're selling out. And are they the biggest of venues? No. But you can't tell me only 30,000 people is buying, or 50,000 people bought that album. I went to the pop-up shop in the middle of nowhere in DC, basically, in a brand new area, and there was still a line hours after he had gone. Like, I saw when he performed. I'm seeing him move around. You can't tell me he only did 50 in his first week. And I mentioned her earlier, and we talked about it, and I was just shocked when I heard the album that she did 30K in her first week. That album was amazing. She's been touring it, and it's been packed everywhere she goes. That album got her on a world tour with Coldplay. Mm-hmm. So you can't tell me that album was 30K worth of first week sales. And so what I see in the money and the production behind this Chris Brown project, and I bought my tickets for him and Lil Baby well before this album came out.
I know. And
it's late for me. It's an arena tour. And yes, Lil Baby's on it, and Lil Baby's a huge artist, but Chris Brown is probably doing Capital One with or without Lil Baby.
He is.
No disrespect. Lil Durk, who's going to do, they said, about 70 and might, on his deluxe version, outsell Chris this week. I love Durk. I'm a huge fan of Durk. I love it, and this is not a slight, but he's doing Echo Stage. Echo Stage ain't Capital One. Mm-mm. So there's levels to it. There's just simply levels. And Chris, you may never see this or hear this, but I got you. I will speak for me. I believe she'll follow up, but those numbers is flagrant, and I'm doing everything I can to help juice them numbers up. I don't think I've gotten in the car yet and not turn that album on and just let it run, because it's that great. There are songs you might want to skip because there's a song you want to get to, but when the song on is like, I can't turn this off. Like, I'm blown away by when I saw those projections come out on Sunday, and I hope they're grossly wrong. I don't think it'll impact his label responsibility. I already know the concert, like you said, there's barely any seats, and that was before the album came out. Mm-hmm. So, and that's Lil Baby hasn't put out an album since the Durk album. So it ain't like there's new music that people were buying these albums for. It's because of the stalwarts that are. And after watching that Versus, which we'll get to in a minute, y'all definitely need to be buying Chris's album.
Facts.
If y'all was buying that stuff that was performed by all 6 of those people, I guess, that was on stage, and I'm going to give Mario his flowers later, but these numbers ain't right. And I don't know who tricking the system or playing with the numbers. And I like Post. Post did over 100. You can't tell me Chris is doing 60 and that Post album did 100. Summer did like 200. And I like Summer. But it wasn't this. So I don't know who got the algorithm. I saw Durk tweet something at Apple Music saying something wasn't right. Y'all need to fix it. And I'll put up the clip. And I know I'm talking. I want to get you in. I apologize. But I put it up. When I went to search for Chris at midnight, it wasn't even on my narrow iPhone. There was 4 options for music. It wasn't one. We had Giveon, Durk, some country singer, and somebody else. Ain't no way Chris Brown's face should have been all across the top of Apple Music at midnight. So I don't know if he pissed somebody off. I don't know if they're trying to take a stance, because this was before the Roe versus Wade, because that I think was that same day. So maybe that was a cover our own butt. Granted, he ain't really got nothing to do with abortion.
I was going to say, what do you got to do with abortion?
Women hate him, some. So maybe they just, I don't know. I don't have a reasonable understanding as to how or why it was rolled out that way, it was laid out that way, and why the numbers are what they are. But that album deserves way more credit than it's getting. And I think people are scared to talk about him because the internet will kill you if you support him. I don't care. That man is one of the greatest artists of our generation. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I got him and Ye. And Ye's a lot more production and fashion and innovation. But as a musical artist, ain't nobody better than Chris Brown in our generation. I don't care who you pick. As far as consistency, as far as quality, ain't nobody better. And that needs to be said and addressed. And I'm sick of y'all for not getting over. Like you were the one telling me the story of Rihanna was, I think it was you. Rihanna was had a video with his song playing in the background. They was killing her.
Yeah.
If she not mad, why you mad?
That's the part that I don't understand. Rihanna forget.
She's moved on. She's got engaged. She got a kid. They good. Granted, her husband still got, or her fiance apparently got anger issues too, because he got a gun charge and fighting, and he's allegedly. But this is just sick. Y'all are sick people, and y'all need help. And Chris Brown will provide the help you need, because y'all need your eyes woken and to unplug your ears, because this is disgusting. I'm done.
You sure?
For now.
Okay. If you did not know before, I am a Chris Brown fan. I stand actually. I've seen him, I think, 3 times. Yeah, I've seen him 3 times. I've loved almost every album. I wasn't a huge fan of Indigo. Didn't hate it. I just didn't, love it either. But it was still a solid album. Had some really great singles on it. They're typically Chris Brown don't miss. Like, he puts out a song and then 4 months later, everybody else is doing it. Like, he did what album was that? Fortune album. He did Fame and he did Fortune. And the Fortune album had all those EDM, techno type sounds to it. Smash. Then what happened? A year or 2 later, everybody else was making music like it. Like, Chris Brown has been it, basically, as far as R&B singers, performers, dancers for the better part of the last decade.
Way longer.
Even longer than that, actually, because I'm 30-something.
Our 20-year high school reunion is coming up.
Yeah, so for the last 2 decades, I'm sorry, my bad. And I've loved him. Even when he was going through all his drama, like, it ain't got nothing to do with me. And, people pick and choose the folks that they want to support based on whatever the criteria is that fits. But I feel like if you shake down anybody's past, go through anybody's tweets, emails, messages, all of that, you're going to find something that they don't want the world to see. Unfortunately, when you're a celebrity, people see you at your best moments, but they also see you at your worst moments. And unfortunately, Chris has had a lot of unfortunate bad moments. But I don't think that takes away from his music. And this album is really, really, really good. I think, like you said, it's definitely one of the top R&B albums that have come out this year. We are, at the end of June, so we're about 6 months in. And there's not very many other artists that are putting out projects this complete that can really top it. And then when you throw in the performance factor, because he is getting ready to start touring, like, it's just
gonna be nuts.
This is it. There's only a handful of other artists who can even wipe his shoes, basically, when it comes to like performance and dancing and singing. Usher is one of them. Mm-hmm. Usher's got a residency in Vegas. He ain't touring this year. He's not. I don't foresee him putting out another album right now. I know Giveon just dropped something, and we did listen to that. We did not finish it, but it's still not giving what Chris Brown is giving.
Different vibe.
Totally different vibe. I think what it boils down to...
It's actually pretty toxic. I was listening to some of the songs.
No, Giveon's... even in real life, he's mad toxic.
Yeah, in real life, we know.
Like, he makes this beautiful music.
Yeah, but he's
not really a great person for what it sounds like. He's embracing
this other role, because the couple songs I heard, he was... Man. Yeah.
And then the features that are on the album, he's got LMI, he's got a Her feature, just every song.
The Dirt, Lil Baby, Blast kills it. Shout out, and this is another thing that we need more Chris Browns, and I said that. He put Tory Lanez on this album. From what I've heard Chris talk about, he said he had almost 200 songs he had to pick from for this album. One of the ones he picked had Tory on it, and that song is dope. And I've been a Tory Lanez fan before. I'm gonna continue to be, and I can't wait to September. And hopefully it doesn't get continued again. But I think Chris understands what it's like to potentially be lied on by a woman. If anybody knows what that's like, Chris knows.
He does. Because that's quiet as kept. A lot of these stories that come out about him saying, oh, he did this, he did that. And then, a month later, we find out, oh, he didn't really do this. He didn't really do that. But nobody ever issues an apology. Ever. There's never any repercussions for these women. Like, was it him? Was it towards the end of last year? It came out that some chick was accused of him, had raped her on Diddy's boat.
Right.
What happened with that? Did anybody apologize to him for the way that they
when he put the receipts out? It was radio silence.
Crickets. But it's been
little girl has been able to go on about her life absolutely fine.
But it's been that way ever since the Rihanna situation happened. And I get it. It was awful. It was terrible. I'm not making light of domestic violence because it is an ugly thing. But if we, especially as believers, if we believe that people can be redeemed from anything, he can be redeemed from the situations that are less than flattering. And this album is amazing. It's really, really good. So y'all see how our lives are set up. I've seen Chris Brown 3 times. At this point, we saw Lil Baby at Coachella. We just saw Lil Baby at Something in the Water. And he's at something else that we're doing, right?
Day in Vegas.
And he's at a festival that we're going to in Vegas.
Day in Vegas? I think he was Day in Vegas, but go ahead.
Either way, I've seen Lil Baby a few times. I've seen Chris Brown a few times. Originally, Ray was going to the Chris Brown Lil Baby concert by himself. But after listening to this album quite a few times, I might have to go on and slide up in there for one of these tickets.
And just quick update, he's not at Day in Vegas, and please don't lose where you're at. But I do want to take a moment because I did see this. Lil TJ is supposed to perform at Day in Vegas. Obviously, he's in the hospital right now. He was shot 7 times. Apparently, he was set up by a woman. So our prayers to him. Hopefully, he recovers. That he's a big name on here, so I wouldn't be surprised if Lil Baby fills in. But I did see his name, and we haven't talked about Lil TJ. I don't know much about his music, but I understand the situation he was in. So my prayers are for his speedy recovery. Back to you.
I wasn't going to this show originally. I wasn't going to get the ticket. There's so many other things that I want to pay for and so many other things I want to do. So I was just going to sit this one out, be budget aware, budget conscious. But like I said, I listened to the album a few times. I love Chris Brown, so I'm probably going to just, put that on my credit card and pay for it later.
I get it. I think I bought the tickets as soon as they became available, and then
pressed.
Okay, I'll be there. But then we had a conversation later, and I went, and he was like, "How much was the tickets?" And when I saw how much I paid for the ticket, I was actually kind of surprised because it was an expensive ticket. We spent probably well much
money,
well over $10,000 this year on music festivals and tickets.
But that's you got to put that in context. A big chunk of that was Coachella.
I don't care what context you put it in.
But you got to put it in context. The money has
been spent. Coachella's probably at this point is probably less than half of my spending.
Yeah, there's no way.
Coachella was what per person?
Yeah,
Coachella was what $2,500. We spent what $6 something?
Yeah. On the tickets and
so it's like three a person.
And then not including the food and anything else.
At this point, I got a show. I told you I have a show every month until October. In some months, I got 2. And let Beyonce go on tour, let Tori go on tour.
No, Beyonce.
Or I know you said it's not happening.
She needs. I mean, it could. She could very well decide to start a tour in the fall. What I'm saying, and everyone also needs to put out in the music sphere, that she needs to go on tour next summer. Like I can't afford it.
That's a long time. That's a year after the album.
It's Beyonce. People will buy those tickets.
I don't disagree, but I think you should tour sooner than that. Me personally,
no.
Ye still potentially could make up for his Coachella absence, which I'm still waiting.
He's not.
I saw Rolling Loud say Ye's close, or like based on he's still supposed to perform there. So I hope for their sake he does it. He's been real quiet. But man, Chris is just Chris. And I went into it with high expectations. That's the other part about this that he doesn't get enough credit for. The expectations are always high for him. And he keeps delivering. Even though everybody keeps wanting him to fail so bad. Not everyone. Too many people want him to fail so bad. He just keeps performing. He just keeps excelling. I don't know if he won his basketball tournament, the Crew League or whatever, but he was in that. I think they got to the championship we were watching.
I think he did win. I remember somebody saying it's like year back to back.
Oh, so even better. So he has basketball. We all know he can play basketball. He's an underrated artist as a like legit spray paint graffiti artist.
And I do actually really love his artwork. It's legit.
Dope. Fashionable. He had a spread come out recently I thought was really dope. I forget which magazine it was for. He just is amazing. And he's human. So yes, he makes mistakes, as has every teen star that's ever had any success at an early age. And again, looking back, and we'll I guess can kind of go into the versus cast now. Like all those people were child stars for the most part. And none of them came close to what Chris did. And none of them had as much drama as Chris did. Like Ray J had a tape, but that wasn't really a shot at him. Like he was perfectly fine. He was Brandy's brother. He still did music, TV, and he's become a mogul and icon. Sammy had no issues that I understand legally. Mario never really had legal issues. Bow Wow did a versus. He didn't have legal issues. Soulja Boy, to my knowledge, has had legal issues. He has some other issues about some stuff. All of these people were in the same time frame. But there's one Chris Brown. And he's head and shoulders above everybody else, and it's not close. And that was reinstated and reinstilled if you watch that versus. If you watch him and what he's done and continues to do, and you look at that versus, you can see the difference. The man is supremely talented, a once-in-a-lifetime type of individual. And I said it on the Joe Budden podcast, no one is really going to pay attention and care until he's dead. And at that point, it's going to be, we should give people flowers when they're here and all that other lame stuff y'all do when people y'all dragged when they was alive die.
Y'all.
And that's
Why
disgusting.
Why are you talking to the audience that way?
And I'm not talking about our audience. I'm talking to our audience about other audiences. I don't think that our audience are those kind of people.
No, I'm pretty sure there are people that listen to us that do not agree with our Chris Brown take.
Well, I would love to have them come on or them comment and we can talk about it in a professional, respectful way.
I think we should add a segment where we answer questions. Because we get a few.
I'm down.
In conversations with people.
Yeah.
And I mean, even like comments and stuff and all of that. We should start answering questions on the show.
If y'all didn't know, I stay ready. But I'm always ready.
Ray's starting a Discord for the Bond Chronicles.
Do not do that. Do not do that, because I will definitely get in it, but we're not there yet on that. And when we are, it'll be down there at the bottom.
It's coming though, because he's gonna do it, and y'all can argue with him all day. He be wanting all the smoke.
Our audience.
I'm not lying. You're gonna
do it.
I'm
not creating it.
Yet. I already made it. You just got to figure out how it works.
All right, we'll table that for now. Versus. Let's get into it.
The hot mess central that was. Like, can we? Let's just be real honest about versus right now. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to step on your
Go ahead.
introduction. I don't know if it's a availability thing or if it's a money thing or it's a people just aren't interested anymore. But there's a lot of stuff that's going on with Versus and has been ever since they made they let Triller buy it or whatever. They got to get it together. They're always late. There's almost always issues with the sound. There's always something. And outside is open again. And Versus has to compete with outside. People being able to go to real, actual live music and watch that.
They have they have a small window because there's no basketball and no football right now. And they've been doing stuff on weeknights because they're not trying to compete with the weekend.
They can't.
But that won't last much longer. Sorry.
In concept, this should have been a really good night. In concept, in
competitive
theory,
or good?
I mean, both.
I didn't think it was going to be competitive.
Well, that's because you was tripping.
Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah. But I just don't know. I took some notes while I was watching because there were some points that I needed to remember to bring up. First off, DJ A1.
A1.
Definitely. You deserve that title.
I'd never heard of him before, but I hope his
yesterday's
price is not today's price. We booking DJ A1 based on that.
Because he was really good. He really set the mood right. He got the crowd ready to go. He was playing all the good R&B hits, really putting people in the mood for what was getting ready to happen. And then it happened, and people all across the country were like, what did I just see?
Yes.
Ray J.
Dang.
Ray J.
Ray J. And he owned it. I've heard him in interviews since. He owned it. I don't know. He said he wasn't. He went off script.
I don't know. I just don't know what happened. I don't know.
Actually, I'm going to say, I just had it. I have a conspiracy take. Do you believe Ray J, being the content gold mine that he is, do you think there's a chance he did this on purpose?
For what?
We're talking about him.
People talk about him anyway.
Not like this.
Is this how you want people to talk about you, though?
They're unbreakable. You remember that?
Yeah.
Like, his relationship has been one that's not the most positive.
And she was there.
She was there.
On the stage with the babies. He was trying to sing to her.
They filed for divorce, I think, 3 or 4 times.
Like 3 times. Like, I don't even understand it. I'm all for working it out. But it's just, everything about them is crazy. This performance, Ray J, sweetheart, it is okay. You were never that good of a singer to begin with. Like, and not good enough for you to think that you could come on live TV or, live broadcast and do what you were doing and people were going to be okay with it. Like,
is it possible we overrated that generation of singers?
No.
Because Jeremiah came out too.
No. Jeremiah wasn't a good singer.
That's my point.
Jeremiah was never a really good singer. Bobby Valentino was never really a good singer. Pleasure P sounds good live, and so does Sammy. Like, I've seen them both live, and they both sound
Omarion
good.
Did not sound good.
Omarion, I don't know what they was doing. Like, Omarion came out, the watermelon thing, all the changing in outfits. Like, you was doing everything.
I didn't like the outfits.
No, he was doing everything but singing.
You spent way too much time on the dance routine, on the watermelon and the props. You did not review your catalog. Maybe you forgot the songs you had.
Tommy the Clown. Why did Tommy the Clown come out? Please, somebody explain that to me. Like, I didn't understand it at all. Because Tommy the Clown was not even in You Got Served. Like, You Got Served came out before Rise did. Like, Jesus, the movie that Tommy the Clown was in where they talked about crumping. Like, that was a thing.
Like, I don't know that we've ever had a verses where someone performed a song as their song, but didn't perform the song. He didn't sing on that song.
Mm-mm.
He just let people come out and dance. Like, how do you get a point for that?
You don't get a point for that.
Like, that's not how versus works.
And then while we were watching it, I'm just like, this isn't what I was expecting. Where are the songs? Where are the hits? And then to your point, did I estimate just how good those songs were? I
remember how those songs used to come on in
Me
my
too.
life.
Icebox was a smash.
So was MIA.
And none of them. Just none of them. I don't know. But then Mario came out and he did his thing. And I was telling you, excuse me, I was telling you before, like, Mario is good for coming out once every couple of years, dropping like 3 really, really good singles, and then disappearing back into obscurity.
I think 3's a lot, but
no, like
I'll take your word for it.
2, 3, because and he did most of them, and then he did some more. Like when he did Nike's Fresh Out the Box, I was excited. Like that used to be my jam, and so was Braid My Hair. But he just did a really good job.
It's kind of hard to perform Braid My Hair.
And you don't got no hair no more.
But I get it.
I get it. The nostalgia was there.
For me, Mario he overachieved and Omarion grossly underachieved. I think the reality of that matchup was somewhere in the middle, but there's a large middle. I think Omarion still has the better catalog. Even the songs that were played, half of Mario's songs I didn't know. Like, I'd never heard them.
Nope.
I knew some of Omarion songs, but there was a bunch I knew that I didn't hear. And clearly, based on post-performance, B2K is not in a good space. Because they have been throwing shots ever since. And I know they did the tour thing. I think it was Lil Fizz went on stage and apologized for the April thing. But there's clearly smoke there with all of them. Because they could not wait to go at Omarion's neck. And so maybe he was trying to spite them and say, I can win this without y'all. And I think maybe we got a B2K. I think there's like 2 B2K songs we might have got towards the end or later on because he was desperate.
Mm-hmm.
But that was ugly. Like, that was Dipset, Fab, and some other people that didn't perform well. They are pleased because of what Omarion did. And I did not expect that at all. Coming off of the Usher performance at Something in the Water, seeing the Chris Brown videos leading up, like Omarion's supposed to be in that mold.
Yeah.
The dancer, singer, performer, and he ain't.
Just everything.
Yeah, the attractiveness, the long hair, the great fitness and all that. The ladies love it. Fitness. I don't know. He's in shape.
A good physique.
I wasn't trying to say that because that word came to my mind. I'm not saying that about the dude.
Why?
I'm just not. He says good fitness. We're gonna stick with fitness. In Pride Month, we're gonna stick with fitness.
Okay.
But man, it was a dud. It was disappointing. And you said they're always late. This was different kind of late.
Mm-hmm.
This was RayDaBest. I think was about to throw the mic and say, "I'm out of here."
Ray was over it.
Like,
but that was the thing. Like everybody came out like with the smoke. Like everybody. Especially Mario and
but it's supposed to be fun.
No, yeah, and it was hilarious.
No.
Sammy was singing Ray J's songs.
Yeah, but that came from that came off as malicious to me. There's a difference between like joking on somebody in a versus, but at the end being able to shake hands, hug, and it's mutual respect.
Which they did.
I know what happened. I'm telling you, the way it was presented, I'm shocked.
I loved it.
That it went that way. I enjoy that, but there's certain lines that when you start talking about you're my opener on a show and stuff like that, and you start talking about people's money in pockets, it gets a little uneasy to me. You're starting to go down the road when you're starting to talk about your band, your group, and how they feel about you. Those are hot topic buttons. Like
hot button topics.
Yeah, hot button topics. And I just if Fat Joe did it, him and Ja Rule are super tight, but he got to a point.
Fat Joe was like
he crossed the line, and then he came out and apologized when he talked about the women and some of the other stuff after the fact because he got too much in that mode. And Jim Jones said the part of the reason during his verses he stayed in the back a lot and didn't come out on the stage like and engaged is because he don't play that way.
Yeah.
And so I think you got to know who you're dealing with. And Omarion, for the longest time, has been a symbol of peace.
Unbothered.
He pulled his pants down and told us he was unbothered. Which told me you was bothered. Like, for me, it was entertainment, but that was bad entertainment. It's like watching Tyler Perry shows or something. Like, it's entertainment, but that ain't the entertainment I want for our culture. Late, disrespectful of people's time, and then for you to take that long and perform that way.
That's the part.
What was you doing?
What was you in the back doing? Because you wasn't warming up.
Clearly.
You were not warming up. Nobody warmed up.
Like, I've said for a long time, I thought Versus had a long time ahead of it. And Chris Brown saying, I think on Drink Champs, he would entertain it with Usher when the time is right, which to me says when the money's right. But man, that they gotta tighten some stuff up, because that was hard to watch. They tried to do the thing where they took it off Instagram one time, and that was
and they put it completely.
And the outrage was rightfully so. And they said, "All right, my bad." But I can't tell you the last Verses. I was like, "Yo, that was dope. Like, that was a good night of entertainment." The Gucci Jeezy thing was tense.
Nah, but that was dope.
But it was really, really dope. Even the Kirk Franklin, Fred Hammond, which was before, I didn't watch the Mary CeCe Winans one, but there was like playful banter. You know, Kirk is Kirk, but it was just wholesome and it was enjoyable. And there's been some others. I know I'm forgetting a bunch that I did.
Everyone Jada Kiss was on.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But even they had the ring, like it just looked different. And to your point, post Triller, it just hasn't been that. And so I hope they get back to it. I did like the Fat Joe one, actually, in Ja Rule. Mm-hmm. I think that was good. And now Ja Rule and Ashanti haven't stopped showing up on festivals and different stuff. They're capitalizing on that moment.
100%.
Ja Rule did himself a lot of justice. And Mario as well. He might want to renegotiate that concert him and Omarion is doing together here in DC. He might need a little bit more of that back.
Right.
Based on this Versus. So, man, it was something. I definitely look at Omarion different. And I've been a fan of a lot of that generation of music, but that wasn't it.
Like, the first time I heard Icebox, you played it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Way. Dang, that was a long time ago.
Yes.
And I could turn on that song right now and probably still feel the same way listening to it now.
Playing it in my head right now, it still should hit.
It hits. It's just so, and then, you know, as a woman, obviously it hits a little different for me. Mario had songs like that, and I don't think
they don't, like, emotionally, Let Me Love You doesn't hit like, oh.
No.
Like, oh, you know, I know it's terrible, but I sound like Omarion.
It's okay.
But like that passion, that thing.
No, yeah. But he has other songs. Like, he had one was Like Me Real Hard was a really, really good song. Like, and when I start thinking about like the later stuff, he's got the song out right now with him and Chris Brown.
Mario does?
Yeah. Get Back to Your Body or Get Back.
Oh yeah, Get Back to Your Body.
Yeah, that joint go.
Yeah, you're right.
Chris Brown's on it. Chris don't miss.
Don't miss. Well, Omarion played his Chris Brown song and it didn't.
But he did it like I don't know. And I keep saying that he did it wrong. I don't know what he did wrong, but it was wrong.
He needed to bring Chris out in LA.
He needed to bring a few,
especially
people
after
out.
He brought Jeremiah out, because he shouldn't have brought him out.
Jeremiah was terrible.
Tank did his thing.
Tank did.
But for all the old heads that be pushing back on the young R&B guys, you see a difference. You see a difference. I'm gonna leave it at that. So, shout out to Baltimore. Baltimore stand up. Mario represented
for DMV.
For it, Baltimore's not really deep. Yeah, they are Maryland.
It's Maryland. So
I don't include them because I don't like Baltimore, but
We have fans in Baltimore, bro. Like, let's not do that.
Listen, I argue on ASAP. I got a guy on there from Baltimore. I tell everybody outside of that mile radius of the Inner Harbor, Baltimore's awful.
Garbage.
And I've been there multiple times. You can't convince me otherwise. But Javonte Davis came out of Baltimore. Melo's come out of Baltimore. They produce talent. I ain't saying they don't, but they showed up. That's all I'm gonna say. You should stand proud. LA, y'all got some work to do. Between Ray J and Omarion, LA did not look good
at all
on that versus stage. So that's really all we got. This was our fun pod. We'll see how the next one goes. Probably midweek. We're going to start tweaking some things a little bit with the show format. So you'll see it. Hopefully you guys will give us your comments. Let us know what you think. But that's really all I got. I think we've covered most things. Did you have anything else you want to add?
No, nothing that I can think of. Just love you and love doing this. It's super dope. Super dope.
Yeah, definitely agree. I do want to ask you as a woman.
Yeah.
So Omarion and what's his brother? Orion. So you're at Versus. It was sold out.
Yeah.
They bring the watermelons out. They eat the watermelon and they offer you the watermelon.
I don't want the watermelon. I don't want the watermelon.
Like, what do you do?
What are you supposed to do with it?
I don't know.
I'm saying no. I don't want it.
In the moment, you're saying no?
Yeah. I'm saying no. I don't want the half-eaten,
juicy, messy
watermelon in the middle of a concert. What am I going to do with it?
I don't know.
Like, unless it's an invitation inside it to, something.
Yeah.
I thought that was the dumbest thing. Yeah. And then he didn't even do it right.
I didn't really pay much attention to that.
No, I mean, really I watched it, and I'm just like, if you're trying to show people, that skill of yours,
is that the fruit you're supposed to use to do that?
People typically use peaches or something, like that. Yeah. I don't think I've ever watched someone use a watermelon for that. Yeah. It was just a miss all the way from around for me, dog.
Yeah. Well, as they say, or as I say, in life, things happen. You have the power to choose what you do. Please choose wisely. I feel like every episode we have great examples of
people making bad choices.
People making bad choices.
Rename the podcast.
Man, I don't know what to think outside of that, but
pray for me in these allergies, y'all.
Choose wisely. Always bet on you. She gotta get her eye together. Looking like Justin Bieber.
That's so wrong.
I'm still waiting on Biebs. Appreciate your post on the women, but I need a concert update. A new video, something. Still waiting. Money's just been sitting out there for like 3 years.
I'll be trying to get my money back at this point.
They said they're not doing it right now. And I'm not about to fight with Ticketmaster. Again, each episode we keep hearing it happen where people are doing things that are crazy. We'll get to some more crazy and potentially us going back to the 1950s later this week. But y'all have a great one. Enjoy and go listen to that Chris Brown because them sales numbers are fraudulent and we got to run him up one way or another because he deserves that much. Take care.